Well, recently, ClipStudio Paint did an update on the experimental image generator for their software, and this is what they had to say. Updated December 2022. We apologize for the anxiety and concern we have caused regarding the announcement of image generator palette on November 29th. After the initial announcement, we received a lot of feedback from the community and will no longer implement the image generator palette. Current image generation AI exploits the artist's intellectual property and is unusable. Yes and no, you're actually using the software to generate images. You don't necessarily have to use the image. You can use it as a reference, or you could photo bash it. I mean, it's just a technique. So basically, ClipStudio Paint renamed the Stable Diffusion as Image Generator Palette Stable Diffusion. It's basically an open source MIT Stable Diffusion software that they're trying to implement in their software, and rename it, rebrand it, and to make it their own. That's what's going on. The next concern is this feature will hinder rather than help artists in their creative activities. I mean, that's totally not true at all if you think about it. I mean, anything that you're using besides your hands, I mean, your hands is basically your tools as well, right? I mean, you're using your hands, and if you're doing traditional painting, like painting with brushes and regular paint and water, those are tools as well. You need tools. And this Stable Diffusion software, they rebrand it as Image Generator Palettes. Basically, it's just another additional tool. ClipStudio is a tool. So it actually enhances your creativity. It doesn't hinder your creativity. You actually have another option to express your creativity. I won't go into the detail of Stable Diffusion. That's probably another video altogether. But it doesn't hinder an artist. It doesn't hinder the artist's creativity because it actually improves it. It actually does the opposite and improves the creativity of an artist to give additional option. It's kind of like ClipStudio is giving additional option besides the paint and brush. Okay, the next issue is using artists' work that is not opt-in to a data set is ethically unacceptable. Well, here's the thing. I mean, do you go around and use images as references, or do you photo bash without opting in or asking permission? I mean, because if you think about it, no one has original thought. Your thought is actually derived or came from somewhere, right? All your thoughts came from somewhere. It's not original. And all your artwork is probably inspired from somewhere. It's not your original artwork. You may think it's your original artwork, but it's actually derived and inspired from somewhere or some source that you may or may not know. The next one is the fear that this will make ClipStudio Paint artwork synonymous with AI-generated artwork, AI-generated work. Even if it is, what's so bad about that? It's basically a tool. It's basically an all-in-one tool that also gives computer the ability to assist you in drawing the artwork. What's wrong with that? I don't see anything wrong with that. What normally takes a day to generate a concept, now you could generate a concept in seconds, 20 seconds, 3 seconds. I mean, you could generate 20 different concepts. You could photo bash that concept and create it into a new concept that no one has seen before. It just speed up the unique generation of artwork so tremendously. I don't see anything wrong with that. There is an existing features that need to be prioritized over image generation AI features. I don't understand this one, so I'm just going to skip this one. Having something unknown in the app I use daily potentially infringes on legal or moral rights is unacceptable. Well, I think we already addressed that already. I mean, it's not like you have to use it directly out of the box when the software generated it. You could modify it, improve it. You could take parts of it where it's unrecognizable and make it your own. I mean, like I said, no artwork is original. Your thoughts and all your experiences came from somewhere. And then you have the last one. ClipStudio Paint should be an app that takes responsibility for a safe, creative environment. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, their responsibility is just creating a stable tool where people can use to extend their creativity. That's their responsibility. And as a user, it's your responsibility to whether, what you do with the tool. Okay, everything is just a tool. I mean, like I said, there's no original artwork, okay? You think your artwork is original, but it's actually came from somewhere you may or may not know about, consciously or subconsciously. All your thoughts came from somewhere. Moving on, the image generator palette was developed with the hope that we could provide a new way to experience creativity. However, we had neglected to take the necessary considerations. We were so preoccupied with how generative AI technology could be used creativity that we lost sight of our core users want from ClipStudio Paint as a creative tool. We would like to sincerely apologize. Celsius will not be implementing any image generator AI features in ClipStudio Paint that presents this kind of concern and will listen more sincerely to opinions of creators. We will redouble our efforts to provide features that can be used with peace of mind by all artists. By adding AI feature in the software, you are extending the artist's capabilities. Just like, all the other tools that you put in, like brushes, custom brushes, the ability to paint, the ability to animate. You're actually extending one's creativity by using the software. And adding the AI software, they are actually extending the artist's creativity as well. So here's the thing. If Celsius don't want to implement this AI generative software, other software will. So, for example, like Crypto, you could implement Stable Diffusion, but that was a private project from a private user, so that project may have scrapped, but since it's open source, it may have picked up by someone else. Anyway, if Celsius refused to put AI generated artwork in their package, other software will. Today we announced that ClipStudio Paint version 1.13.0 update will be released on December 6th and will include the image generated palette and experimental generative AI feature based on the Stable Diffusion model. ClipStudio Paint has not provided and will not provide or use any form of user data to train this model, and the service will be discontinued in 1.0 after the release of ClipStudio Paint version 2. ClipStudio Paint is no stranger to AI-powered features, AE colorization, pose estimation, all of which aim to make creativity accessible. In the same vein, we believe generative AI has the potential to become a powerful assistive tool for all creators. However, we also are fully aware of the valid concerns that have been raised inside the art community as well. Therefore, we would like to open a dialogue to better evaluate and reach a consensus on how generative AI can coexist with the creative process and how Celsius should approach this new technology. We will be providing an anonymous survey for you to leave your thoughts once the experimental feature is released. The survey results will be summarized at a later date, and the prompts and generated results of the feature will be archived and published on a dedicated website. We will also refer to the survey results in international discussion regarding the usage and development of AI models and additional features. Alongside this, we will reach authentication features for artists to prove ownership of their artwork and work with art hosting sites to discern AI images. It looks like they're still in the path of trying to implement the Stable Diffusion in the software, but right now they're kind of on the fence. The extra measure, I think, is unnecessary because ultimately it's actually the artist's responsibility to plagiarize or not. So it's kind of like writing. It's kind of like creative writing. Some people are really strict about that. In some places, if you go to certain clubs are really strict about it. And certain clubs understand that your story is actually derived from other stories because no story is actually original. It actually came from somewhere. All thoughts came from somewhere. So that's my thoughts for this Stable Diffusion in ClipStudio Paint. Tell me about your thoughts in the comment section.